Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another apartment renovation, and this is actually the final apartment in the modern building I have been working on in the new world that came with Lovestruck, and I'm excited to share this one with you. I had so many different suggestions on what sort of theme, what personalities, what sort of Sims might live in this final unit to complement the other two. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I will have a bunch of links in the description, both to the exterior of this build as well as the two other apartment furnishings, which are for a entrepreneur and a photographer. This apartment, however, is for an aspiring author. I believe there were a few comments that suggested this idea, but the one that I have here that suggested it was Scarlet Reads. So thank you so much for that. They suggested a home for an unlucky in love author who's invested in the love lives of their neighbors and maybe is starting to write a book about that budding relationship. I thought that was a really fun idea, so that's what I decided to do here. Although that comment does suggest maybe the additional bedroom could be for a niece, I decided the other bedroom would be perfect for an office space for this author. So that is what I did here, but thank you so much for that comment, and thank you to everyone that left comments on suggestions of what sort of Sims would be living in this building. I wasn't able to include all of your suggestions as there were only 3 units, but it was just such a blast, and I would love to keep hearing the ideas you would like to see come to life in The Sims, as I'm sure I'll be doing more apartments and houses and stuff for the foreseeable future. So keep them coming. Thank you so much for all the feedback, and I hope you've enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, we are decorating the kitchen now. I did keep the same layout that I originally had for this apartment. All I did was change the swatches in the kitchen and start figuring out the furnishings. I immediately knew I wanted to go for a little bit of a lighter color scheme in this apartment because all of the other 2 units are very dark. So I thought it would be a nice change of pace to have a lighter color scheme in here. And one thing that I couldn't figure out, even watching my footage back, the rug I placed there in the kitchen with the flowers on it, it disappears at some point. I decided not to put it back. I put a different rug back and I used that one in the entryway instead. But at some point in time, it just vanishes. And I don't know what happened. It might have been because I was experiencing a lot of lag in my build over the last week or so. There's excessive lag clicking on certain items, and it might have been something like that, and I didn't realize I grabbed it and then I threw it off a lot or something. I'm not entirely sure, but if you see it disappear, that is why. It just disappeared. Anyway, it's gone now, and I am picking out some lights to go over the table and replacing it with this rug from Snowy Escape instead. I ended up actually, for this apartment, there's a lot of modern things in here, but I tried to add some accents that felt a little bit more bohemian inspired. I liked the idea of mixing a few different styles and having those boho elements. It made it feel really cozy and definitely different than the other 2 apartments in this building. So that's what I did there, and I am just cluttering up the bookshelves over here. The bookshelves here are actually from the Book Nook kit, and I was having so much lag decorating these. You can see it still a little bit in the footage I kept in, but I tried to cut a lot of it out because it was really painful to watch, especially because it was very painful to experience. It took such a long time to decorate that space because of how laggy it was being, which is why it's not as decorated as I would like it to be. It just wasn't really working. I also decided to add plenty of plants in here, and I added an additional cushion to the couch here, just because I felt like it would look nice, and I really enjoy adding those custom pillows to couches. I feel like it just adds so much more personality, and it makes it so it feels like we have different pieces to choose from, even though it is the same catalog. And I really love this couch anyway. I like that it already has pillows on it and a blanket, and it looks so cozy. And once again, that is also from the Book Nook kit. I heavily used that kit in this apartment. It makes sense. It's a book themed kit, and this is an apartment for a sim who is an author and likes to read. So all of the piles of books you see around are from that kit, and a lot of the other decor as well. These curtains are from high school years, and I really loved this side table that I put the TV on. I believe that one's actually from the movie Hangout kit. Most of the swatches on that are really bright and colorful, but most of the items in that pack do have a more neutral swatch. There's just one of them though, and this is that. So yeah, just decorating over here. I end up actually having a record player in this space. I thought the colors were perfect. I knew I wanted to use the lighter wood tone for the stand it is on, but I didn't realize that the actual record player was this sort of minty color, which worked really nicely with the color scheme I already had, and I ended up adding a few more mint accents throughout the rest of the apartment. I think I called Movie Hangout a kit. Movie Hangout is a stuff pack. I sometimes just get so used to how many kits we have that some of the older stuff packs, I accidentally use that terminology. But anyway, I am continuing to decorate over here and bringing in this gorgeous wallpaper that sort of looks like waves. I really like that. And I also got a small table behind the couch with a lamp and just like a box of mail, like stuff that hasn't been gone through. I wanted it to feel more lived in that way. Not everything has a perfect spot. It's a little bit messy, but I feel like it's super cozy and I love the colors and the pieces I used in here. It doesn't feel like dirty. It's just a little bit cluttered. Anyway, this is going to be the bedroom. I'm using this bed from For Rent, and I paired it with two different nightstands. One of them is from Island Living, and the other one's from the Book Nook kit. So they're a little bit different, but I really liked mixing and matching here, and the Book Nook kit one of course has some books underneath, and I just clutter up the tops with all sorts of just regular bedroom clutter, so a place to put your glasses and charge your watch and all of that, and of course a couple more books. And then over here across from the bed I have a dresser. This one is from Island Living. I feel like that pack came in handy in this build as well, for a couple more of those more boho looking items, like the chair that I put in the living room, also this dresser, and then we are moving on into the office, which is pretty much the same size as the bedroom. The only difference is that I changed the wall that the door is on to be a diagonal because it worked a little bit better with the layout of the living room and the kitchen. Anyway, in here I am using this really beautiful blue desk from the Crystal Creation stuff pack and cluttering it up with some books, some like currently being worked on items. That's actually, I believe, homework from high school years, but I thought it was really nice, and potentially the sim also dabbles in graphic novels. I like the idea of that. I also put a couple of framed prints up above the desk, and I am making a sort of corner bookshelf here using those same bookcases from Book Nook. I do end up using Tool to scale a couple of them down ever so slightly, like 0.999. So it's like you can't visually see that they're scaled down. It just makes it so that there is no visual clipping. And then I added a little place to sit, and then we're going to be working on the balcony, which is also pretty simple. I just have another one of these chairs from high school years. I thought it was very cute, a nice blue rug, of course some books out here, a coffee mug, and I believe a lamp or a plant. I think it's a plant that I add. And then I end up adding the same wall lights that I have on the other balconies because I assumed they would be a built-in fixture. They were just something I hadn't added until I decorated the first apartment. And then I also got a place for your Sims to go ahead and grow some plants. I got a telescope, and at this point I decided to add one of those to the roof as well. And also sometime between the first video and now, I added a closed off area where the ladder brings you up to the top floor so that it doesn't look like rain can just flood the apartment. So that is inside now if you decide to have your Sims go up the ladder to the rooftop. And then this is going to be the bathroom, which I almost forgot to decorate. I just jumped to the balcony and then I was like, wait a second, there's a bathroom in here. The fixtures were already in here as I put all of that in here before I decorated all of the units, because I did upload an empty version of this apartment building if you wanted to furnish all of them for yourself to the gallery originally. It has all of the built-in things like the bathroom and the kitchen. It just doesn't have any other furnishings in it. However, the version that is fully furnished with all three of these apartments is now up on the gallery as of today. So I will make sure to have all of that information in the description, but my gallery ID is Gryphi, that's Gryphi, and you can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi. And I'm excited to finally have it up. I know I've gotten a lot of questions recently on if this was uploaded yet, the last few apartments, and I knew I wasn't going to upload it until all of them were finished, so you could download it as one whole residential rental, and that time is today. So we're just finishing up the hallway here, adding a place for a cork board and some welcome mats outside of each of the doors, and then we're heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this build and this series. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the screenshots. Bye everyone.